Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. This week is a very exciting video because it's probably the most requested video on my channel. It is a how to journal, how I journal, how to stay consistent, how to start, my tips and tricks, everything you need to know, because I am not kidding when I say that journaling has completely transformed my life. This week has been one of the hardest weeks. I think a lot of people are feeling the same. The world is going through so much right now, and I think I've been leaning on the practices that help me so much recently, and so I feel like what better time than now to share with you guys one of the tools I use every single day, which is journaling. I guess let's start from the beginning. Why did I start journaling? Apart from just like always kind of keeping a journal throughout my life, just off and on, I actually only started consistently journaling in my last year of high school. I was going through a lot at the time, relationship stuff, but also just like the end of high school, like letting that chapter go, as well as just like intense exams and assignments, and I was so stressed. And my English teacher actually started making our class every morning do this thing called morning pages. Most people in the class did not like this, but I loved it and I found it so helpful. Pretty much morning pages, if you don't know of it already, is like a writing journaling technique created by Julia Cameron, I believe, from The Artist's Way. It is like a stream of consciousness, and you're meant to do it kind of first thing when you wake up. You pick up your pen. You're not really meant to like lift the pen off the paper too much. Like you're meant to pretty much just like write consistently, not stopping, for 3 pages. And it's kind of a way that you're meant to just like get out everything onto the paper and just like create a clean slate. And it's really interesting because, you know, when you have to write and not stop and you have 3 pages to fill, a lot of it is rubbish. A lot of it is like, I don't really know why I'm doing this. I feel kind of weird right now. I literally have nothing to say, so I guess I'll tell you about this. And and it's weird. It feels like it's nothing, but it ends up bringing up all the subconscious stuff. And even if it doesn't, it's like this like brain dump that you can just let go of. And I just found that doing that consistently just helped me really like clear my mind. So that's kind of what started me consistently journaling, because then after I graduated high school, I went through my first real like heartbreak, and I was just like so upset, feeling so many emotions. Like every day I was just like, felt like I was in like some sort of tsunami, like with these waves of just like everything all at once. And I obviously would talk to my friends and my mom, and, you know, had a lot of people supporting me, but at the same time, like I didn't feel like I could just like say the same thing again and again to my friends, but I was obviously processing so much. And so I just decided to continue consistently journaling and doing the morning pages throughout that time. And at that time I was literally filling up like 7 pages like a day, I swear. Like I had so much to let go of and process. And once I just consistently started doing that and just making myself do that first thing in the morning, I just was like hooked, to be honest. And so now I've been journaling consistently for 5 years. I don't always journal in the mornings now. I don't always do morning pages now, but it's always a practice I come back to. There is so many reasons why journaling is beneficial, why some of the most successful creators, philosophers, artists can recommend it. First of all, it really does help reduce stress by putting just everything on paper. You're able to just like see it for what it is and just get some stuff out. I think we have such an inner dialogue and inner feelings that sometimes just need to be expressed in order to be moved through. It allows you to tap into your subconscious. I think in today's world, with social media, with being busy and doing stuff, we can often go around just completely oblivious to this like inner world we have going on that's constantly thinking and doing. I think also when you're listening to your subconscious and in touch with that part of yourself, you're often able to catch things really early on, being able to see something clearly laid out and like listen to that inner part of myself that's maybe saying, yeah, that's probably something you need to look out for, or something you need to change before it gets to a point that it's like really bad, and then it's no longer in the subconscious because it's right in front of your fucking face. Another thing that I love about journaling is it always really helps with perspective. I think seeing something laid out on paper can really help us. We get so wrapped up in our own things. For instance, like when something happened to you that feels really embarrassing, it can feel huge in your head. You build it up, you have all this shame, and there's something about just putting it out on paper and looking at it, and you're like, that is literally so minuscule in the grand scheme of things, and just having that perspective is literally so good for our mental health. I can't even express. A lot of people also use journaling as a sort of meditation. It really helps with just the overall clarity, mindfulness, stepping into the day. Another huge thing with journaling is using it as a tool for manifestation. There's literally so many stats that prove that writing something down makes it so much more likely to happen. In fact, I think I read somewhere that you are 42% more likely to achieve something if you write it down. And that's why I think so many of the most successful people really say how much journaling has helped them, because the truth is, whether you believe in manifestation and putting something out into the universe is totally up to you. But the truth is, when we are aware of what we want, obviously that means we are going to be more available and aware of trying to make that happen. When we go around our lives just not really sure of our goals or what we want, it's harder to then, in a situation where there's an opportunity presented, to be able to catch on to it and be like, that could help me to get me to where I want to go. Another reason I love journaling so much, and it has helped me, is like it really gives me an activity as well to just like spend time with myself. I love taking my journal to a cafe and journaling there, or to a park, or anywhere really. Like it gives me this activity to do, to go inwards, and I can do it anywhere. Like traveling solo as well was so much easier and fun because I knew I had my journal. So now I'm assuming after I've said all of that stuff, you're like, oh my god, I'm so excited to journal. I love journaling. That's what I hope you're feeling. So how do you start? That's probably the main question I get. It's like, Joy, I want to journal. How the hell do I start? Something that really helped me when I graduated from high school and I was like going through the breakup and I was like, I want to keep journaling, was I invested in a good journal. Now, you don't need a good journal to journal. You can use your phone even. Like you can do it anywhere. It doesn't need to be a physical form if that's something you don't enjoy, even though I do feel like there is the act of actually seeing it out and actually using your hand that is really, really therapeutic. I have about like I think maybe like 10 of these back in Australia that I've already filled, but I am aware that Moleskine journals aren't necessarily cheap, but I did that for a reason. I made myself buy a not cheap journal because I was like, I want to make this feel special and I want to make myself fill this up to the end. And I knew that spending that money would be that extra motivation, like not to waste the paper or like just have this extra journal that's just sitting there. So first of all, just set yourself up for success. Buy a journal you like, buy a pen you like. It doesn't have to be expensive, but also it's funny because I knew myself and I knew that if I got an expensive journal, I would just appreciate it more. I don't really know what my plan is. I don't know if I'm going to just continue to buy the exact same red journal all the way to my 20s and then change in my 30s, or if I'm just going to, I don't know, be like an 80-year-old grandma with fucking like 100 red journals. But we will see. The next thing you should decide on if you want to journal is what time of the day you want to journal. I am at a point now where I've been journaling consistently for 5 years, so I know that I'm going to journal. I know it's just in my body. It's like I just want to do it. So I don't always need to have the exact same time every day to make it happen. But at the beginning, what really helped me was that I really made sure that first thing when I wake up, I'm going to journal. I'm not going to go on my phone. That was another thing that made me finish and fill up a whole page was that I told myself until I filled up a whole page of writing, I was not allowed to check my phone. And so it was this extra motivation to like do it and get it done. I am currently doing like a journal challenge on my Instagram. I think it'll be finished when this video is up, but I do have a highlight reel on my Instagram called Journal, and all the prompts will be in there if you want to use them. Another great place to find journal prompts is just online, like Pinterest. You can look up journal prompts and there is so many. And so just like having those like questions and stuff can sometimes be helpful to guide you into like a deeper thing. Like if you're feeling stuck on, you know, just constantly talking about what you did that day, your plans and stuff like that, then sometimes a journal prompt can help like just add that little bit of depth and go a little bit deeper. It is a bit gloomy outside, but I just wanted to sit outside. So we are out on the balcony. So we talked about the benefits of journaling, how you can start. Now I just want to talk about some different kind of techniques and ways people can journal. I feel like once you try them out, you kind of know usually which one you gravitate to, but also I find that I like go in between all of them depending on what I need and how I'm feeling. And yeah, I would really encourage you guys to try all of these out for yourself if you are wanting to step into journaling, because sometimes one way that works for someone isn't necessarily what's going to work for you. So the first technique is the one that I already told you guys about, which is like the morning pages, stream of consciousness that you do first thing when you wake up. You write without really like taking your hand off the pen, and it's just about like brain dumping. The next journal technique is something that you guys probably would have seen a lot of like wellness influencers talk about, which is like gratitude journaling. This is where you focus on writing about what you're grateful for. This can be anything as big or small as you want, but it's really just a practice to like make you think and aware of all of your blessings in your life. And like gratitude is really proven to just improve people's mental health and overall well-being so much. Truly, like sometimes when I'm feeling down, I'll do a little gratitude journal and it really does just shift your brain. It's crazy. The next technique is kind of like the classic like thing that you see in movies of like Dear Diary, today I did this and this and that. It's more of a documentation. It's more talking about what you're doing, what you've done, and I think it's also a really good way to just like be able to process your life, what you're going through, and also just like a really nice thing to be able to look back on when you're older. Like now in today's world, we take photos of everything so we can look back at everything with photos. But what I find so interesting as someone that like takes so many photos and videos, it's crazy looking back at memories and seeing a video and being like, oh yeah, I remember that. And then reading my journal from that same time and being like, whoa, I did not remember feeling that way throughout that time. And through seeing a photo or a video, you like can't tell that. It's just weird because journals allow you this like insight into the past, but through like how you actually feeling, especially because we do like romanticize, at least I do romanticize the past so much. Especially nostalgia has this like ability to just warp how you think things are, and there's something really grounding about just like remembering like it wasn't that good, or the other way around, and you're like, oh my god, I fully forgot how impactful and amazing that felt at the time. Another technique is just like scrapbooking, journaling. I've had a lot of you guys kind of recently say how much you love, you know, the little drawings I've been posting on my Instagram, and like how you do that as well. I have always loved collaging. I've always loved doing little drawings, and there's something really nice about using that as a way to express yourself rather than not only using words as well. I think like art therapy is so amazing, and the more I get to know about it, the more I'm like, this can have such a incredible impact on your mental health and your life. So that's another technique that I would highly recommend. And again, like, don't take it seriously. These drawings don't need to be good. They don't need to be shown to anyone. They can be scribbled out and redone. Like, it really doesn't matter. It's more about just like the act of doing it and letting go and having fun. The last technique I want to talk about, even though there's so many more techniques, that's the ones I wanted to focus on, but the last one I want to talk about is moon journaling. I have talked about doing moon journaling on my channel before and on my socials, and you guys have asked me so many questions, and literally I've been telling you guys I'm going to make a video about it for so long, and I never have. But pretty much I pretty consistently moon journal, which was actually introduced to me by my mum. She got me onto moon journaling. It's pretty much journaling with the moon. So every full moon and every new moon, you will do a diary entry. So this is also a really great way for someone to start journaling if they don't want to commit to doing it every day, but they still want to have this like consistent practice in their life, because it really is only 2 times a month. So moon journaling is journaling with the full moon and the new moon. With the new moon, you want to focus on inviting things in. This is a great time for manifestation. The prompt I always use for new moon is, what do I desire? And then I like to break it down into categories. What do I desire for my relationships? What do I desire for my career, my health, etc., etc. For full moon, it's more of a letting go. It's like making room for the things you want, which means often you have to let some things go, things that you're maybe carrying that you don't need anymore, that you no longer serve a purpose. So this is a time really for release. So the prompt I always use with the full moon is, this cycle I release. And you kind of just talk about everything that you want to let go of. And then again, I use kind of the same categories. So yeah, when I started this, honestly, I kind of just wanted to do it because I thought it was fun, but also just it meant I could spend time with my mum, because we would like get our journals and do it together. And it was this really special thing of like, we would talk through to each other what we desired each month and what we wanted to let go of, depending on if it was new moon or full moon. And then we would just like journal and sit together. And like I love journaling, so I loved it, but it was mainly just a way to just do something fun with my mum. But then literally I was writing shit down and it was happening. Like, for instance, I don't know if I actually talked about this in a YouTube video before or not, but I remember I was going through a period where I was really like struggling with YouTube, because I felt like I was putting a lot into my channel, and I was like literally at like 800 subscribers and had been for years, no growth. And I was like really wanting it to obviously grow. I wanted to grow a community, but there was this like little voice inside my head that was still like, it's super cringe, why are you doing this? And so I remember it was full moon actually, and I was like, I am letting go of this idea that I need to impress people by this or be cool or attract any sort of following. Like, I don't need to have followers and people like my content for this to be something that I do. And pretty much I just, in my journaling, I was like, I am releasing the idea of this needing to be something that gives me followers or anything. Like, I am doing this for me and for me only. And as soon as I let go of that thing of needing it to be something, literally like I think a day or 2 days later, my channel grew 10,000 subscribers in 10 days. Like, it was crazy. And that kind of stuff has happened to me again and again. I think also what I love about moon journaling is that, like, when do we like ever like stop and just go, what do I desire this month? Or like, what do I feel like I need to let go of? Like, the things I journal about sometimes surprise me. I'm like, wow, I didn't even think about that I wanted to let that go, or that I wanted to call that in. And so whether you believe in manifestation or not, it doesn't matter. It allows you to check in with yourself and like get that clarity, so then you can hopefully like make it happen in your life. And yeah, I just really cannot recommend it enough. So yeah, that is all of the techniques. Hopefully this video inspired you guys to start journaling or try a new technique or get back into it. I genuinely don't know what I would do if I wasn't journaling. Like, the amount of times I've been like this week in a really rough period, and it's just felt like the one, not the only thing, but like such a big part of what is keeping me sane. And so I'm really happy that I can share this with you guys, and hopefully it can help you guys. Also, when you guys send me a message and say like, you're the reason I started journaling, or like, journaling has helped me so much, blah blah blah, like, it makes my day. So feel free to send me a DM on Instagram. I'm always loving to chat with you guys there. And yeah, all my love. Talk soon.